This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system.
The allegations come 3 years after James successfully sued Trump in 2022 for nearly $500 million in a civil fraud case that was eventually overturned on appeal. New York Attorney General Letitia James is facing 1 count of bank fraud and 1 count of making false statements to a financial institution over a loan she got in 2020 to purchase a home in Norfolk, Virginia.
To accomplished, high-ranking Black women of mortgage fraud, so clearly vengeance. I don't think it's coincidental that Trump has accused.
In Norfolk, Virginia, Letitia James allegedly, according to this complaint filed yesterday and secured by Lindsay Halligan, that controversial Trump appointee who was put in this to get an indictment against James Comey. She's continued what the work she can do in Virginia is that Letitia James said that she was buying a house for a primary purpose, when in reality,
You prosecute crimes, not people.
Versus the loan she potentially should have gotten if she had actually put the correct information. Obviously, that's also lying to the bank because you allegedly did this wrong. Abby Lowell, her attorney back months ago, actually wrote a letter detailing why the Department of Justice was wrong. And Bill Pulte, the person the Department of Justice is alleging she used it as a rental property. Now, in buying it as a property for herself, allegedly, that allowed her to get a better interest rate. It's about $18,900, which is minimal in the scheme of potential fraud, right? That the Department of Justice alleged she was able to essentially make from or successfully get from this deal in terms of saving money of why this was wrong. So we'll see how this plays out in court.
Democrat
who runs some housing mechanism in the government, who's pointed to a lot of the Trump foes, basically going line by line through the criminal complaint or criminal referral, I should say.
We are at this moment.
Senator Schiff, Republicans said that and pointed to the fact that Letitia James campaigned on prosecuting President Trump when she ran for Attorney General. How is that different from this situation?
Well, I will let Letitia James speak for her campaign. But what I'm talking about is using the power of this presidency, using the power of this Justice Department to go after the president's enemies and being instructed by the president to do so. Nixon had his enemies list. We had nothing like the kind of brutal, anti-democratic, corrupt abuse of the department that we see under Donald Trump. It is truly unprecedented.
Do you have confidence in a jury, and do you have confidence that, you know, the American people and a jury of Letitia James's peers can still be unbiased and can still bring justice in this instance? Do you still have confidence in that?
I still have confidence in the jury system. What I think the American people have lost confidence, though, is in the independence of the Justice Department and the top prosecutors for the department, who are Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyers.
And at the same time, we see powerful voices trying to silence truth and punish dissent and, yes, weaponize justice for political gain. We are witnessing the fraying of our democracy, the erosion of our system of government. This, my friends, is a defining moment in our history. Let us stand together to defend our rights, to protect every safeguard, every institution, every immigrant. Every norm and every rule of law. You see, I know what it feels like to be attacked for just doing your job. But I also know what it feels like to overcome adversity. And so I stand on solid rock. And I will not bow. I will not break. I will not bend. I will not capitulate. I will not give in. I will not give up.
For joining us here on ABC News Live. I understand that you're planning a rally tomorrow here in New York in support of the state attorney general. What's your reaction to the charges she's facing right now? And what's your goal of this rally this weekend?
Well, we
action to what we saw in court there with Letitia James and what our previous panel had to say about it.
Well, New York Attorney General.
We agree with the Attorney General that these are charges that were brought for a personal vendetta from a president who is very thin-skinned and also is corrupt. And so anyone who brings up any of those facts, he sees as an enemy and tries to make them an enemy of the people and of the American government. And that's simply not the case. So our goal with the rally is all New Yorkers standing up tomorrow afternoon and saying, not only will you keep your hands off Tish, but keep your hands off New York, because this isn't the only threat that his administration has made to the people of New York in sending ICE raids, as you may have seen that happen as those are escalating, and also threatening to have more National Guard presence and a military presence in the streets of New York City. And we are simply saying hands off New York. And that includes our Attorney General as well.
My colleague Ken Delaney, and as we just were talking about, has sources directly correlated with this case have said that some of the evidence has already been undercut against Letitia James. How high is the burden of proof for prosecutors?
Letitia James is one of the bravest people that I know. She is an honorable person of great integrity. That's how she's served. And we've served together now since 2019 when we were both elected in 2018. And, she's been a leader amongst attorneys general all across the nation. And that includes in a bipartisan fashion on many different issues like the opioid epidemic and the settlements that we procured, billions of dollars across the United States. But, if he's trying to make Tish James into a martyr, I think that's exactly what he's doing, because everybody knows that Tish James is a person who believes very much in the strength of our laws and in making sure that she is law-abiding, as is everyone. So I think that these charges are specious and they will not hold up in a court of law.
So speaking of that here.
Well, to these charges, but, when I say good luck getting a jury to convict upon this, I see a 0% chance of any, the same as always, right? That they must prove each and every element of a crime beyond a reasonable doubt. But honestly, I don't know that this case will ever see a jury, because there are so many valid motions that can be made in order to throw out these charges. I don't know that they stand up, even if you were to believe each and every word of the indictment. It seems unlikely as though there's any merit conviction against Tish James.